Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today we are playing some mono white soldiers, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why is he piloting this? Everyone and their mum is piloting this deck. And the simple answer is because there are so many different builds of it that I just want to give my opinion as to what the best build of this is. So the goal of the deck is to basically play creature after creature after creature and order your creatures correctly so that you are outputting as much damage as possible and overwhelm your opponent before they have a chance to do something. The list is largely what you come to expect from a mono white list. Some interesting card choices. The Intrepid Adversary I've got here instead of the Resolute Reinforcements or the Guardian of New Benalia, and the simple reason is that it's got an Anthem built into its 3/1 lifelink stats, so it comes in, then you can play, basically you can pay an extra 2 mana, and it's effectively a multi-kicker, and just the fact that we can push in like some extra damage on turn 4 is really powerful, and I think it's a very powerful effect. On top of that, there's a lot of mono red floating around at the moment, so the lifelink there is super useful, and I think it's just a better card for the current circumstances over Resolute Reinforcements. Guardian of New Benalia is better in the lower ranks where people don't realize that it has an ability where you can discard a card and protect it, but outside of that people play around that, and suddenly you're just really playing with a 2/2 that can occasionally scry. Some other interesting decisions: no copies of Myrel, simply because I played it and it just got countered, it just got removed straight away. And when you're playing something for 4 mana and it does nothing to impact the board, that's a really big problem with this deck. You need, because we're playing so much that already doesn't particularly impact boards on turns 1 and 2. By turn 4, you need something that's going to swing the game in your favor. So the Myrels had to go. Instead, I've got 3 copies of Kayla's Reconstruction, a really good card to recover after a board wipe. And I've also got 2 copies of Adeline Resplendent Cathar. I know it's not a soldier. I know she doesn't create soldiers, but having something to attack on turn 4 with Vigilance, with 4 toughness, in a format where we're not seeing a lot of Destroy Evils or Valorous stances is really good. And she impacts the board straight away because when you attack, she creates a 1/1 human token as well. In terms of our lands, 21 planes, 1 copy of Eiganjo. It's Eiganjo. I always get that wrong. 1 copy of Eiganjo. It's just an excellent combat trick, and 2 copies of Mishra's Foundry, just so that we have something to do with our mana later on in turns 5 and 6 to try and push that last bit of damage through. Is this the best version of the deck? Inconclusive. I couldn't tell you. There's lots of different combinations of cards going around, lots of different things in the 2 and 4 drop slots. This is the version of the deck that I really like, so let's get into the games. Okay, we are on the play. We have a turn 1 play with the Recruitment Officer, turn 2 with the Yotian Frontliner. I'm going to keep this. I don't really want to play Intrepid Adversary on turn 2. It's a pretty weak play. We'll play it on turn 3 if there's no 3rd land drop, though. We'll play the Recruitment Officer first because it's an extra point of damage. Play the Yotian Frontliner. We only get the buff when the Yotian Frontliner attacks. Looks like... yeah, I knew something was up. Turn 1, no play with mono red is just not really what we're after. I like playing Thalia here, even though it means that our Kayla's Reconstruction will cost 1 more, but honestly, if we're casting Kayla's Reconstruction, it means that we've probably suffered a board wipe. There we go. Opponent wasting their turn on a braid is perfect. I still don't want to play the Brutal Cathar. I want to wait until my opponent plays a creature. I don't think they're full control. 2 Abrades, that's weird. They are just playing every single removal spell. We're going to play Recruitment Officer. At this point, I am just going to play out the Intrepid Adversary. We haven't really drawn a land. Wedding Announcement. Cool, they're stuck on 3 lands. Excelente. I am now just going to play out the Brutal Cathar, if knowing that their land's screwed. Brings me much joy. Like, we might be running into a depopulate here, but if by putting the Brutal Cathar out now, we basically force our opponent to really have the answers. Ooh. Another Abrade. Flame Blessed Bolt as well. Jesus. If we get a land here, we don't, but we do get another Intrepid Adversary, and this time I am going to pay. Down to 5, and we also have Kayla's Reconstruction next turn. That is a Mishra's Foundry, and not what my opponent is after, probably. Okay, we're going to Kayla's Reconstruction for 2. See what we can find. Siege Veteran and Adeline. What are you going to do now, opponent? We have to do this. Simply because opponent has to block here and here and go to 1. Simply because we need to threaten lethal. Depopulate coming through. Skitter Scheme Battalion. That's not going to do it. What are we going to give? Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, that's not going to work out, opponent, I'm afraid. Cool. Cool. Weren't punished by the depopulate there. By depopulate, but we have to play that way anyway. That's what this deck is about. Okay, we go first. Slightly unfortunate that we don't have a turn 2 play here. This is a borderline hand. I'm going to keep it, but I think if we weren't sort of showcasing the deck and we were in a more competitive setting, I would 100% consider mulliganing this hand. Okay, looks like we have... Usually if I see that land, I am looking at domain or control. I'm looking at neither of those things. Okay. I am going to do this. They are going to buff each other up. Cool. I'm kind of the opinion that this laydown arms is better off suited for whatever my opponent plays on turn 3. Okay. Cool. Double laydown arms. It's tempting. I'm going to do it. This will really set them back. Try and make disappearing this. Fading Hope. Yeah, sure. Wow. By the way, I don't think that's correct. 100% my opponent should be tapping the Llanowar land speaker there so that they can keep a blue up. Like, because otherwise they don't have access to any mana. Not really sure what they were looking to accomplish there. We'll find out. Now, if we... One of two things will happen. Either we draw land... There's a third Llanowar Loam Speaker. Jesus. We did not draw a land. However, I am going to play out the Valiant Veteran here. Because this immediately gives us a +1/+1 boost. And suddenly, my opponent doesn't really want to be blocking this. Next turn, if our opponent does play something big, and they may well do, we do have access to Kayla's Reconstruction, and we can try and find a Brutal Cathar. I'm just trying to think of potential lines. If we draw a land, we might just Kayla's Reconstruction for 2 anyway. Aha. Hello, sir. See what we get. Thalia. Alright, we will... Kayla's Reconstruction for 1 here. Don't get it. Wow. Well, you can see what I was going for. Brutal Cathar now would be excellent. People actually play this card. Yeah, this is a Titania meld deck. Lay Down Arms would be good here. Another Thalia. I am just going to pass the turn. Like, I need to find something with my Recruitment Officer. I need to find Brutal Cathar to deal with Slogurk. Yeah. Cool. And even if we force it back to its owner's hand, it's done its job. See what our opponents think of doing here. Awaken the Woods. I don't think we're winning this. I think our opponent knows it. Like, it goes back to playing those two lay down arms earlier, but honestly, it's the right call. It's 100% the right call. Like, you stop them from doing something ridiculous the next turn. You don't know if in that instance if they have a Titan of Industry, for example. We're going to take 11. You don't know. And sort of stopping that from happening is really important. Okay. See what we can do here. Interesting. Down to 10. Like, yeah, Brutal Cathar is how we win this. And we have seen none. And we've dug quite deep. I mean, we did get a lot of, many Brutal Cathars in the first game, so... Yeah, this is trouble. Take action. We need a land. In case people haven't realised. Okay. I end up taking, what, 6? Yeah, it's just over. Unfortunate. It's a good deck. Okay, we're on the play. We have Recruitment Officer on 1, Thalia on 2, Siege Veteran on 3. I'm going to keep. See what we can pull off here. Thalia on 2 is so powerful. The problem with Thalia is that after 2, she's not so good. And also, if you draw multiple copies of her, that is a problem. I'm going to do this now. Even though, you know, this just taps for colourless on turn 1. I think it's good to get into the habit of maybe expect your opponent to make a mistake. Tenacious Underdog, okay. Would have been nice to draw a land. Oh, I can't do it because I have Mishra's Factory. That's unfortunate. See if they want to trade. They do. Okay. I am going to have to play the Intrepid Adversary out here as a tempo play. I don't like it. It's not what this card is meant to do. My days. Gonna attack with actually I'm not gonna attack with anyone. "24 lands. And this unfortunately is what happens sometimes. I will allow this murder to take place. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice on whether or not the murder takes place. There's what I'm looking for. Cool. Next turn, I can play down Siege Veteran after Siege Veteran. Invoke Despair's probably coming down here. Soul Transfer. Interesting. We get Plains. We do not get Plains. I'm just going to play Siege Veteran right now. I am going to attack here. It would be in their best interest to block. And at this point, we just want our opponents to respond to us. That's really what we're looking for. Shieldred. Jeez. It would be sick if I could get something good. I am not going to block the Shieldred. That is not what I'm going to do. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to play this Siege Veteran. I'm going to play this Recruitment Officer. Cool. And then next turn, I can play this Kayla's Reconstruction. And if my opponent plays Invoke Despair, there's Tenacious Underdog. Cool. And if they attack with Tenacious Underdog, I'm going to block with Recruitment Officer and get 3 1/1s out of it. Nice Gex. I have laid down arms for it. You only have... Now, hang on. I'm not going to block with this. I'm going to let him draw a card. That's fine. They need cut down. They do not have cut down. Triple Siege Veteran. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Opponent goes first. We have turn 1 Recruitment Officer into turn 2 Recruitment Officer to turn 3 Siege Veteran. Hopefully that's fast enough. We'll see. Forest. Usually that tells me it's mono green Stompy. They're just playing a forest on turn 1. Now they're either playing full control or they have a 1 mana green instant speed thing. Alright, well let's see what they want to do. They're going to trade? Sensible. Okay, that Quirion Beast Caller can get out of control very quickly. Mono Green Stompy is a really good deck against Mono White. It's really good. I'm just gonna say it. Because Mono White runs very little in the form of removal. It runs 4 lay down arms. That's it. And we get some 1/1s. Cool. But if our opponent plays correctly, there's another Gala Greeters. They should be okay. Another Plains. Okay. Well, gonna play down the Siege Veteran. Going to force our opponent to make some difficult decisions. That's good. And we've got Kayla's Reconstruction for 2 next turn. Now, before I recorded this video, I'd literally played about 50 games with this deck, about 65% win rate. I barely drew Kayla's Reconstruction. Even though there's 3 copies of it in the deck, I barely drew it. I think I literally played the deck, the card like 3 times. Big fan of the card. Big fan. Okay, opponent is playing Hellbent. There's our Brutal Cathar. I'm going to play this. Because I would have played Kayla's Reconstruction for 2 looking for Brutal Cathar to get rid of this Gala Greeters. Alternatively, what you can do is that you can play Kayla's Reconstruction for 2 and try and find a Valiant, but I think this is just correct. Because our opponent also has no cards in hand, so this can flip next turn. Going to attack with everything here. I want to give my opponent the option to block. Basically force my opponent to make a bad choice. Not blocking there is the correct choice, in my opinion. Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. Boy, I have seen this card a lot, and I've been thoroughly underwhelmed by it. But then again, mainly I play aggressive decks, so I'm sure against maybe control, this is much better. Alright, now is the time. Let's see what we can find. Valiant Veteran and Siege Veteran would be good. I can't do the kicker. Yeah, there we go. Just have to think about it for a sec. What can attack? Brutal Cathar. Brutal Cathar. Siege Veteran. Force them to block. Yeah. There's no good blocks there. No good blocks for our opponent. Okay, awful. Mulligan. Not much better. Mulligan. Yeah, okay. No. And... oh. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Sorry, Yotian Frontliner. Again, kind of reliant on getting a land drop on... yeah, my opponent's got Fading Hope, I think. Kind of reliant on our opponent getting mana flooded. Pretty sure this is getting Make Disappeared. But I need to push damage through. Yeah, I see a Fading Hope in my future. Okay. And they're keeping it. Yeah. This is an example sometimes of the deck not doing well. I think actually the mono blue matchup's pretty good, and I'm hoping we get an opportunity to show it off later. For example, do not do this. If you're playing mono blue, I did a mono blue video ages ago. If you're playing mono blue, please don't play Haughty Djinn on 3. Play it on 4 with negate backup. Even if you've got two Haughty Djinns in hand, just play one. Please just play it on turn 4. Okay, Fading Hope, sure. Not impressed. Not impressed. I could play the Recruitment Officer pre-combat as well, but what you're really supposed to do is play the Lords pre-combat and play the all others post-combat. I think that's the best practice. Oh, wouldn't it be good to draw a land? Opponent's really digging here. This tells me my opponent's got a counterspell. Essence Scatter. Urtise Scorn, yeah. Opponent's desperate. Yeah, let's see what they do. I'm going to play the Brutal Cathar out. They've only got 2 cards in hand. 1 card in hand. They have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. Yeah. If they kept the Naughty Djinn... No, I keep saying naughty. They keep Haughty Djinn in hand until they have sufficient ways to protect it. They win that game. No doubt in my mind they win that game, but they didn't, and that's why I won. On to the next one. Opponent goes first. It's the first time we've seen a Eiganjo in our opening hand. A bit of a nombo with laydown arms, so we just need to be a bit aware of that. However, I think the usefulness of the channel ability far outweighs the negative. Okay, opponent is playing a 6-card hand. He's showing us Island. Mono blue. Cool. Now, we still play out the Valiant Veteran. That's still correct. Opponent doesn't have anything on turn 2. What's going on? What did they keep? So, what do I think of the deck? Well, first of all, I've just taken out the 2 Mishra's Foundry straight away and put in 2 more planes. Never found the need to use the artifact land, which is a shame. I think Mishra's Foundry has the potential to be a very powerful card, but it's probably not right in this deck. It's an interesting one. I think it's really strong to sort of start off with. Lots of individually powerful cards, some good synergies there. Thalia, Kayla's Reconstruction's a massive non-bow though. But Thalia is just too good to not play. And we saw some really big swings with Kayla's Reconstruction. Maybe we swap out the Kayla's Reconstruction for Myrel. I think it's a judgment call. Like, there is easily a world where I just take out Kayla's Reconstruction and just go, thank you very much. I'm going to put 3 of those back in. I don't think it's an awful call to do that. Although you can't fetch Myrel with Recruitment Officer. But that's life. This could be a better reconfiguration of the deck. Intrepid Adversary again. In the games we played, it was really good. As a Lord, it gave us opportunities to win games. Even if I didn't take those opportunities. Having said that, I don't think this is the best version of Soldiers. I do think Azorius Soldiers is a better deck, and I will be covering that in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you haven't already liked the video, please consider doing so. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye-bye!